This could be the next Jerami Grant, or at least something close to it. If the Dallas Mavericks were to get the 14th overall pick in this year's draft, then the best player available would be Noa Essengue, the 6'10", 18-year-old power forward from France. With a lot of versatility to his game, coupled with high levels of athleticism, the Dallas Mavericks could use that youth and talent for their future. But a lot of people would argue that the Dallas Mavericks don't need another forward, they don't need another big man, and that they need a guard. But if the Dallas Mavericks do fall to the 14th overall pick and the best player available is Noa Essengue, then there's a lot of reasons as to why he should be selected. So, in this video, we're going to take a look at Noa Essengue, see how well he's been playing overseas in France, what are his strengths and weaknesses, and whether or not he would fit on the Dallas Mavericks team. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we're currently sitting at 20,373 subscribers. It may be the off season, but it's not my off season. And right now, we're going over every single projected lottery player between now and next Monday when we find out what pick we'll actually get. So if you want to be up to date on everything draft related or even off season and free agency related, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. But like I said, the Dallas Mavericks, we do have a pick in this upcoming draft, and because we didn't make the playoffs, it will be a lottery pick. And so between now and next Monday, we should take a look at every player that's projected to go in the lottery and see whether or not they be a good pick for the Mavericks. Obviously, a lot of people would say Cooper Flag, number one, that's all you need. But there are a lot of good players in this year's draft. This is a very deep draft, and although we won't really know how deep it is until a few years later when we take a look back, but right now there's a lot of players with a lot of potential, a lot of high upside that can help the Dallas Mavericks, whether we go into a rebuild mode in the next year or two, or if they can help us compete for a championship right now. We got to take a look at every single player, from number 1 Cooper Flag all the way down to projected number 14 Noa Essengue. But like I said, we are 1 week away until the NBA draft lottery. Will the Dallas Mavericks move up in the draft lottery for the first time ever? And yes, I looked it up. We've never ever moved up. So if we were to get the number 14 overall pick, would it be the end of the world? Not necessarily. And I've been messing around with Tankathon, and I only clicked once, and it said that we moved up from the 11th pick all the way to the number 4 pick. So that's a little bit, I don't know if it's a good thing or just cope that I've got going on, but I think I'm coping with the fact that our pick will most likely be towards the bottom. But if we were to still get the number 14th overall pick, it isn't that bad. And we take a look right here, Noa Essengue, right there projected at number 14 at the end of the lottery. And he's from France. He's a forward. Like I said, he's 6'10", has a lot of versatility to his game. He's able to play amazing defense, averaging over 1 steal a game and almost a block a game. He's still young. He's only 18 years old, but there's a lot of upside to a player that young and that raw that we could definitely pull out. Playing alongside Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, a player like Noah can learn a lot, especially in the pick and roll with Kyrie, versus watching AD in the pick and roll and how he plays as a post man, playing the 4, sometimes a 5. There's a lot of high upside to get a young player like Noah and put him around a lot of great basketball minds. But if we take a look at Noah's strengths and weaknesses, we can see that one of his, I'm all over the place here. One of his strengths is, well, if we take a look at the summary, Essengue is a toolsy forward with a fluid handle, dynamic finishing package, and highly versatile defense. But his long-term upside hinges on the jumper clicking, and if it doesn't, his defense must reach a level that prevents coaches from keeping him off the floor. So his shooting may not be the best, and he only shoots about 29% from 3, which isn't too bad, but that's something that you can definitely improve once you draft him, get him a shooting coach, get him around the right people, but he does show the ability to at least take shots from 3. And it says that his comparisons are Nicholas Batum and Al-Farouq Amino. I said that he could be the next Jerami Grant. I definitely see it. He's long, has a long wingspan, 6'10", he's tall, plays good defense. You can play him at the 5 in small ball. You can space the floor at the 4, still be able to shoot 3s. So I think maybe his ceiling would be a Jerami Grant, which wouldn't be a bad thing for the Mavericks. But his strengths are his fluid athleticism. Essengue just looks like an NBA player with enormous arms and graceful movements on the floor, whether he's using an off-ball screen to slingshot toward the basket or sprinting in transition to ready for a lob dunk. And a lot of footage I saw, Noa Essengue just runs the floor. Something that I know Kyrie Irving loves to do in a fast break. Noah just runs. And we see that a lot with Daniel Gafford as well, just able to go up and down the floor as a big man is definitely huge for our ability to score in transition and not have to slow down and set up a whole offense and hopefully these players know what they're doing and they're making mistakes. None of that. Anytime we get the anytime we get the defensive rebound and we're running the floor, Noa Essengue could be that guy to just be ready for a lob. Something similar to a Kai Jones as far as athleticism, but he also has the ability to read the defense very well, able to cut, able to get steals. Like I said, he's averaging about 1.6 steals a game. The defense is definitely there. Noa Essengue could be an amazing wing defender for the Mavericks. It's his offense that would need time to click, as yes, he can obviously score at the basket very well. He has a very high ability to put the ball on the floor and attack the basket, but the mid-range and the three-point shot, as well as his free throws, are something that would need to be improved upon, but that's not something that's impossible once you get to the NBA. Surround yourself with the right coaches and the right tutelage. He could definitely be there for us. But going back to the strengths, as well as his drive game. He's such a natural with the ball in his hands, using spin moves, Euro steps, and other fluid maneuvers to get into the paint. There, he can take off-balanced, wrong-footed layups and use either hand, or get flashy with Giannis-style scoop layups to score. And if he has room to leap, he can loudly dunk. All of these skills give him major face-up scoring potential, especially if he can successfully develop a perimeter jumper. And another part of his strengths is his shooting progress. Over 3 consecutive years, he's gone from a hackable non-shooter to a player making 24.4% of his threes and 70.1% of his free throws. The numbers aren't great, but they're a notable improvement. His form looks smooth, and he has good touch on layups and floaters near the basket. Maybe his upward trajectory continues in the years to come. So yes, the shooting, very shaky. I thought it was 29%. He's shooting 24.4% from 3. That's not necessarily the stretch big you want. You want your stretch bigs to at least shoot 32% from 3 at the very least. 24% isn't that good, especially when you're not already in the NBA. And shooting 70% from the free throw line also doesn't bode well. It's not the worst percentage, but it's not the best either. Again, his defense looks amazing. You can look up any footage on Noa Essengue, and his defense is amazing. He's wiry. He's very athletic. He jumps out the gym. He's everywhere. He just reads the defense at a very elite level. It's the offense. And honestly, you can work with that. Like I've already said, surround him by the right people, the right coaches, the right people to get him to be where you need him to be at a young age, like 18, would make him very malleable so you can make him the player you want him to be. Another Jerami Grant, or maybe even a Michael Porter Jr., or at the very least a Maxi Kleber, because Maxi in his prime was a pretty decent stretch 4. I think that's what he could be for the Dallas Mavericks. Obviously, we have Anthony Davis, and maybe Noah could be a baby Anthony Davis for us, but if we were to select him, if we were to give him the room to grow into that, I think AD would be a good player for him to play behind. But that's not the only strengths he has. Right here, his passing. Essengue has a strong feel for the game. He pings the ball around the floor with decisive passes within the flow of the offense. He shows creativity with interior wraparounds and over-the-head passes out of the post to shooters across the court, which is amazing. He cuts to the basket off of a pick and roll. If he can't score right there at the basket, he knows where to look for the perimeter man to hit the wide open 3. Something that is amazing. Something we saw a lot from Derrick Lively. Whenever we'd run a pick and roll, Derrick Lively's at the basket. He could easily pass to somebody on the corner for an open 3. That vision and that passing ability and that instinct is something that would separate him from any other stretch 4 in this draft. Another plus for him is that he's a versatile defender, a multi-positional defender who can switch onto smaller, quicker players or hold his own against larger ones. He can also be plugged into different positions, whether he needs to chase someone off screens and close out on shooters or focus on offering help defense at the rim. He's extremely active off ball, showing strong focus rotating at the rim or getting his long arms in the passing lanes to rack up deflections, which is amazing. Obviously, defense wins championships, as that may be our team motto for a while, but he would be exactly what we need defensively. He's running around screens. He's off ball, active, moving around, long arms, getting deflections. Everything you need from a good defender, he's already there, or at least he looks ready to be at that level of the NBA on defense, but it's the offense. The offense is what he seems to struggle with just slightly. If we take a look at some of his concerns, the number one concern is his shooting. He has made progress, but still hasn't proven he can be an effective floor spacer. Developing into a reliable shooter would unlock so many of his talents. It's the key to his future, and I truly believe that. He has the build, he has the making, the skill, and the basketball IQ to be a very good stretch 4, a very good floor spacer, but he's got to be able to develop that shot. Another concern is his strength. He needs to fill out his lean frame, which would make him even more of a threat scoring at the rim and further enhance his defensive versatility. As of now, he can get overpowered on defense or get forced to take layups, shying away from contact, and that's just something that happens in the NBA. If you take a look at Giannis, who came into the NBA with a very small frame, he filled out. So if Noah could do the same, then he'd be fine in that department. And the last thing here is his fundamentals. He drives into traffic too often, which shows how his game still lacks polish. Unsurprising considering his youth, but an area that he needs to address in the years to come. Fundamentals, shooting, all these concerns that they may have for Noa Essengue, I'm not too worried about. If the Mavericks were to select Noah with the 14th overall pick, I think we'd be pretty good. It would be a very odd selection, as we know we need a guard, and you go and get a forward. But if he's the best player available, then why not go for it? Maybe you could trade him for another player that may be what you need, or you can develop him into an amazing stretch four to give us a little bit more versatility as well as a backup to AD if anything were to happen. Now, obviously, we have a backup for AD. We have PJ, but PJ's not really a floor spacer. He's not a stretch four by any means. And Noa Essengue isn't really there just yet, but that's something that we could have down the road if we were to develop that. But if we take a look right here, Noa Essengue's stats for this last year, like I said, he played a year in France. He averaged 12.4 points, 1.4 steals, 1.1 assists, and 5.3 rebounds, shooting 73% from the free throw line, 29% from three, as well as shooting 56% from the floor. Not too bad, only about 18 games, which isn't that big of a serving size to really take a look at. But if the Dallas Mavericks get the 14th overall pick, and if they're looking at Noa Essengue as the future stretch four for the Mavericks, maybe pair alongside Derrick Lively down the road when our older players move on, if we were to trade Daniel Gafford, if AD would want to be traded or retires after this contract, then cool. You have a player in Derrick Lively and a younger player in Noa Essengue who can be a 4 and 5 on the floor, spaces the floor, provides three-point shooting, provides defense. Maybe we will see Derrick Lively take a 3 or 2 in this upcoming year, but that's something that could definitely secure your future and maybe doesn't help you right away. But let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think that Noah would be a good player for the Mavericks from everything that I mentioned, or do you think that we need a more impact player now instead of a project for down the road? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. We'd have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for being part of the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter, Discord, and our Spotify. Links are in the description below. And as always, y'all take care. Drink water. Peace.